Okay, so in this video, talking about my update of my recovery from Cauda Equina syndrome, and it's almost coming up to the 2-year mark now. And again, I get some questions about how my recovery going. Like, we're talking about 2 years now. It's still considered recovery, which is a bit mental for me. And mental side is a major aspect of recovery from something that was potentially so debilitating. So here's a couple of things that have, to give you an update on things. In terms of everyday life, doesn't affect me at all. So going to work, driving my car, playing with the kids, going to the pool, doing the gym, Cauda Equina, it doesn't affect me obviously in any sort of way anymore. So anybody that meets me for the first time, they wouldn't know that I've got a weak leg, that I've got a weak glute, I've got a dodgy calf. So that's great. And again, even from looking at it, the muscle size in my calf looks the same from behind as other legs. So there's no obvious disability going on there, which has been good. However, what I would say is that I've been going to the gym. I just do upper body. I don't go on the running machine. I don't go on the cross trainer. Don't go on the cycling machine. Not just for in terms of leg issues, but also mental issues, which I'll go a little bit more in depth in that in a minute. But I go in the gym, lift weights. I do bench press, I do shoulder press, sitting. Don't do anything standing. Don't do deadlifts. Don't do squats. Pretty much do nothing. Rarely even do the leg extension machine or anything like that. Just some guns. Work in the shoulders, work in the chest, and that's what I've been working on. And that for me, although I understand it's completely pointless lifting 160 kilograms with a bench press, that's just my thing. I enjoy that. I get fulfillment out of that. So that's my thing, and I'm doing it. And being strong and getting big, getting big up here. Just makes me feel better in myself. Additionally, one of the reasons for that is because I can't really run. Jogging is still not a thing that I can do. That anytime I have done a jog or anything, the idea, the mental side of it, the triggering aspect of going, oh my goodness, my leg's really sore, oh this is, or I can't run, oh I feel depressed now, oh I used to be able to run around mountains and now I can't run at all, After a while, I just kind of go, stop picking that itch, or stop scratching that scab, or itching that scar, or whatever it is, whatever the term is. But it's just like, instead of just like trying to do something which you can't do, just give up on it. So like whenever straight after the surgery, I was like, yeah, go to a cross trainer. And cross trainer is probably one of the best ones for getting your cardio back, getting your fitness back. But a cross trainer, elliptical cross trainer doesn't transfer to any exercise in the real life. So actually running, actually cycling doesn't do any of that. Is this focusing on my face? It is focusing. That's good. So yeah, if you want to do the cross trainer, that's probably the best one, least impact, and good to get your heart rate up. But for me, still, so almost 2 years on the treadmill, I've been going to a physio. He's been getting me to do lots of calf raises, just do calf raises, just calf, and then when you can, do a single leg calf raises. And that was great. I was like, yeah, I'm getting somewhere with it. That got triggering again. After a while, I was like, hey, I've been going to you for like 4 months now, and I'm still only at like 2 calf raises. This is so crap. Good leg, I can do calf raises, I can do 30 on one leg, no problem. On my bad leg, it's like, 1, I was kind of a half, 2, I have got up to about 8, but I need to like prepare for that, get my muscle puncher right into my foot, pre-workout before doing calf raises. So it's just like, after a while, it's just like, it's triggering. The real term of the term triggering is like, this just makes me feel like crap because I'm not getting as far as I thought I should be getting. Although my physio is very much like, no, you've got to realise this is fantastic, this is really good progress. It's stuff I can do in my own time. I've been doing it in the pool as well. So one of the exercises, so doing the calf raises is sometimes very difficult to do on land. doing it in the pool is fantastic because it can be water up to here, do single leg calf raises, and try and do it with good form and really go up right onto my toe. And then what I can do is at the steps of my pool, I can go up one step, try it there, holding onto the bar, and then go up the next step until the water's like at my waist, then at my thighs, and then a little bit lower. And that's one of the ways I've been doing the physio for the calf. If you can't do a calf raise in real life, doing it in the pool and then slowly working up the steps has been fantastic. Somebody was asking a question like, do I do sit-ups or anything? No, haven't done any core work whatsoever. And not that that's my advice or anything like that, but it's I just don't even want to test it. My core work is laughter. if I want to really work my core, I will watch some YouTube videos and have myself laughing my head off at cats falling off tables, you know, stuff like that. Or the one where the girl burps in her car and is massive. But you know, I will laugh my head off, and that will be like, oh, got a good ab workout for that. But again, the abs is great for squats, deadlifts. The closest thing I'm getting to abs is a little bit of a warm-up at the start of the Stu McGill Big Three. So bird dogs, you're on one leg, 1 foot, doing that. Check out Stu McGill's Big Three. Maybe some side planks as well as a warm-up before I do exercises. So planks, side planks, press-ups. That works the core, but like crunching, no. Standing shoulder press, no. Actual deadlift, not even going there. And again, my bike just hasn't been used. My actual bicycle out on the road, my road bicycle, just anytime I got to hill, I'm like, oh, one, I'm fatter and heavier. 2, I'm less fit, and 3, anytime I hit a hill, there's this definite, like, this side isn't working, you know, your glute really powers you uphill, so it's like, I'm not enjoying that, so I just kind of gave up on the cycling. So my bike is slowly getting dusty in the garage, so maybe it's time for a motorbike. That's what I should get myself a Harley Davidson. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So yeah, in terms of physio, calf raises, glute exercises, what's known as Jane Fonda's, where you lie on the ground and you do that to work my glute gluteus medius muscle to get that as strong as possible. Some things that have been quite interesting is anytime I've had a cold, I don't get them very often because I'm hitting the sauna and the steam room and the cold showers at my gym, which is fantastic. But anytime I've had a bit of a sniffle or a cold, I'm like, oh, I'm getting sciatica coming back. What's going on here? So there's definitely, when the immune system is kicking in, nerves, something, cough, sneeze up here, calf gets sore, foot gets sore. What's going on here? I don't know what the connection is, but it's weird. So anytime I get a cold, and you know, like when you get a sore back, and you're like, oh, I'm having a crap night's sleep. Sciatica tingles, not necessarily pain, but like, meh. It's like, what's going on here? Is a thing. And again, I've got my dad who has, at one point, he has shingles, which is like chickenpox, but affects the nerve system and it's like pain of all your nerves. Anytime he gets a cough and a cold as well, it's like it feels like his shingles are coming back. So it's quite interesting. It seems like the nervous system of like what should be just like pain at other parts of your body seem to also be triggered by viruses elsewhere in your body. But just very interesting going on there. And additionally, with that, what I would say is when I have felt like, hey, my calf is feeling good, I have gone on the treadmill. So again, running outside on the road is very different from running on a treadmill in a gym. So on a treadmill in the gym, I can go turn it on and go at 6 kilometers an hour. Ooh, done that for 2 minutes. Off to do something else. If you go out onto the road, you're like, oh, let's go jog for somewhere. Oh, run all the way out here. Oh, now I need to run all the way back. That's concrete. This is a nice bouncy treadmill. So the treadmill's probably the better thing. Again, on the treadmill, one of the exercises I do is sideways running. So put it on a wee bit of an incline, and then go sideways on it, and then do sideways like this, but on the treadmill. And again, that's great for working my glute muscle, both sides, because it works in different ways. So on the treadmill sideways, and that doesn't necessarily, because I'm doing it sideways, doesn't really work the calf too much. A couple of weeks ago I thought, hey, I'm feeling good, my calf's feeling good, I'm going to try and do a little jog, and there was a bit of like, oh, this is great, I'm actually jogging at like 9 kilometers an hour on the treadmill. I was like, this is great, and my form was good, and my calf was good, my knees were good, like there wasn't feeling like there was the usual like 10 steps and then it's a bit of a floppy leg and then you've got a bad form and then you're like wobbling around, then you're like, oh, this is probably not good for me. It was like, hey, I'm actually running. This is actual proper running. Ah, this feels great. Got 2 minutes. I was like, whew, sweat dripping off me. The whole week afterwards, my calf was tingling. Tingling like whoo! A lot of nerve damage and nerve pain. It's very difficult to explain. But that was a real kind of like, hey, one of those things like, hey, I feel great, let's do it. And then for a whole week afterwards, it's like, oh, I really wish I hadn't done that. So that's part of my, like, as I say, triggering. Like, hey, when you're feeling good and you do something which you think you enjoy and you get enjoyment for it, but then you get hit. You get beaten down for about a week afterwards. Just like, you should have done that. Both I was like getting cramps in my bum as my calf was like twinging. My toes, that's the other thing, my toes go into cramp. So your calf muscles obviously affect all the way up to your toes, but I'd be lying in the bath and my like third or fourth toe would just go, and I'm like, what's going on? and that was like 4 days after I went for a run. So it's just like, yeah, just don't bother doing that. And yeah, so where I'm at just now is effectively, I think, whenever I first came out of surgery, it was like, hey, 6 weeks after surgery, you'll be walking around. Give it 8 weeks, maybe 12 weeks, and yeah, everything should be back to normal. You're like, oh yeah, 12 weeks later, I'm like, still totally got weakness. And then it's like, oh, did more research. So actually more like 3 months to 4 or 5 months, and then everything should be back. And you're like, yeah, got there. So maybe 1 year to a year and a half, and everything, to 16 months or something. That's when your nerves regenerate and everything's all good. And I'm like, yeah, cool. Now to 2 years, I'm just like, no, it's fucked. Or just deal with it, the fact that it's a perma thing, but for me, it's at the point where it's not noticeable. Like, nobody will know that I've got a weak glute and a weak calf. They'll just think I'm somebody that doesn't like running. Fair dues. But I've managed to go walking up hills. I've done hill walks. I've climbed some Munros in Scotland. I've did the curved ridge, which is a pretty hardcore rock climbing thing. I take my kids rock climbing, take them to the pool, we go swimming. Everything's all back to normal. But there is, even almost 2 years now, like whatever the damage that was done seems to have been permanent, and I've still got that weakness in the calf. So yeah, just like 1, 2.5, and not really the third. With the other leg, just like calf raises all day, not a problem. So yes, it's weird, but and yet the muscle size on the calves are roughly the same. Very strange. But yeah, so that's all I've really got for my update. Things going fine. Don't do exercises that trigger mentally and annoy the calf. Just don't deal with it. There you go. If you've got any other questions, I'll do another video in the future. But otherwise, that's all the update. Bye bye.